Okay. Thank you everyone for your time. I'm Michael Abbott. I am the program manager for Shell Lake Food Safety with CDFA. And I'm not going to go too deep into these are the regulations that we cover in regards to our Shell Lake Food Safety compliance inspections. These are all there. None of these have changed, minus the changing the spatial requirements from 144 and then transitioning to cage-free as of January 1st, 2022. So the focus of the program is due to the Salmonella outbreak that was there, and we are a part of a 3-program assessment that has to deal with the CCAP inspection, which is a voluntary inspection, the FDA egg roll, which is mandatory, and a SEFS prevention, which is our program, which adds to the FDA egg rule and their regulations. When we compare the 3, as you can see in this one here, that shows the differences as what is added is that we're adding in the different environmentals for the hatched, and that's what we're going through there. Where you can see with the CCAP inspection, they go deeper into how your SE plan is administered and how you set it up. So oftentimes when you get a SEFS inspection, we will be conducting a CCAP inspection at the same time. That way you're not having to prepare for 2 different timeshares of inspections. We try to make it easier for you so it's less of an interruption in your production and your actions on the farm. So when we look at Shell Lake Food Safety, it's the regulation divided into 3 parts. The phase 1 is to implement the SE prevention plan. Then it's involved in the SE monitoring to include chick papers and pre-depopulation paper, the testing, as well as the vaccination program, which is the 3rd part. We go through all of these, and during the inspection, we go through and see what you're doing to look at not only what you're doing, what is not meeting the standards, and give recommendations on how we can move forward. When we're looking at implementing the FDA CFR Part 118, that's where we incorporate all of the FDA regs into our regs, and then we add the additional environmental testing. So we're going to go in there and we're going to look at your records to make sure that you're using the SE clean breeder chicks, that you have it written in there that you're doing the C&D in regards to if you have a positive. We're going to evaluate your rodent control and make sure that it's also in compliance with the FDA documents that give the guidance documents and how we're doing that, and making sure that you're managing the eggs getting under refrigeration at 45 degrees or below and under 36 hours. So we're going through and we're checking all of these documents throughout the paperwork. And while the inspector's there, that's the opportunity that we have to give any additional documents, or if you didn't have something, to address those issues, to make those changes and those fixes while we're on site. So when we're looking at that, we go through and we're looking at the difference in environmental monitoring. What does SEFS add to FDA? Like I said before, it adds the chick paper testing and the pre-depopulation testing. We're doing that. A big thing is that one, you're going to know right away if the chicks have SE at the beginning of their life versus in the middle of their life or just before lay. And the pre-depopulation environmental sample will let you know how deep you need to go in C&D to prepare for the environment, to make sure that it's clean of SE for the new birds that you're going to be putting into that place. Then we go into the vaccination program that we want 2 of the live and then 1 of the killed SE vaccines. As shown here, that's the recommendation of when to issue those vaccines. Then we're talking about what everyone's worried about, when the inspector is going to come to do your inspections. Here's the first stage of this is that we go through and we send out a pre-questionnaire. The purpose of the pre-questionnaire is so that we can assess adequate personnel and time to the inspection. And then it also lets us know if anything's changed prior to us getting there to show whether or not you would be eligible for an inspection or not. When we get there and we're doing this, we talk about non-compliance. If you go through the inspection and you get a pass, that's no deficiency, there's nothing needed. When it comes to a low deficiency, whether there's incorrect or missing documentation, and then we go to a moderate deficiency, which is correctable, and not limited to documentation. A high deficiency is a high importance and or difficult to correct. It's important to realize that the goal of the program is mentorship to compliance. When we're there, we're not there just looking for issues. We want to be able to help you, take your farm to be in compliance, as the goal would. We want to be able to come there and have no deficiencies that would have an issue, and then we're able to move forward. We do look at previous inspections and we review those to make sure that what we're seeing, it's not a reoccurring issue, in addition to seeing if the farm management has addressed the issues in prior inspections. So when we look at compliance actions, if there's a pass, there's no deficiency, nothing needed. A low deficiency is if there's something wrong with your paperwork, we ask you to provide proof of correction within 10 business days. If they don't provide the proof of correction in 10 business days, it's elevated to a major deficiency, and then you have 5 additional days to complete that action, and we follow up if not corrected. If it's not corrected after that, it moves into a high deficiency. And in California, that's what it deems your eggs, is that they're not SEFS compliant. If eggs are deemed to be not SEFS compliant, they're not allowed to be sold in California unless diverted to breakers or sold outside of California or export. They can become compliant if the farm completes the measures, and every case is different. There's no cut and dry, this equals this. So we address each case with the specifics of the case. And our goal is that you're compliant and that we give you the means to get yourself back into compliance. So I wanted to do this presentation relatively quickly to open myself up so you could ask any of the questions that you have, so we can alleviate any stress or address any issues for you in regards to the SEFS inspection that are conducted by CDFA. My contact information is below. Feel free to contact me via email or the phone, and I'll gladly answer any questions or reply to any of your issues.